What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Avengers Endgame, which is actually Avengers 4, which is actually Avengers Infinity War Part 2. So if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos. So we are still giving away Captain Marvel tickets, but the final day will be tomorrow. So all you gotta do is follow me on Instagram at Warstu and comment on my latest picture, or send me a DM if you're interested in being entered to that. And also we are giving away a Hasbro Infinity Gauntlet at the end of this month, which look awesome. They really are awesome things to have. So I didn't really want to make this video, but yeah, let's just go with it. So there's a new rumor, which is not really a rumor, so we are here to debunk this rumor. So essentially what people are trying to do is they are trying to discredit Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, yet again, by inferring or implying that Captain Marvel is going to be cut from Avengers Endgame, aka Avengers 4. Why is this so wrong? Well, because as we know, Brie Larson solo movie comes out this week. I'm going to be watching it tomorrow. Can't wait to watch it. It's going to be pretty cool. But the reason is Brie Larson is going to be the highest paid Marvel actor for the first movie in the franchise, implying that she made more money than Robert Downey Jr. did for Iron Man 1. So she is the highest paid Marvel actor for the first movie. She has signed a contract for at least 6 to 7 movies. So she is going to be one of the forces, one of the stars, one of the big stars of the future for the Marvel Universe. Or as you should call it, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So she is essentially going to replace in Captain America or Iron Man. And then at the same time, there was the Infinity War teaser setup with the pager implying Captain Marvel was coming. Then we had the prelude comic, which told us why Nick Fury waited so long to fire out Captain Marvel into this universe. So there's been so many teasers. And it's also recently emerged online that apparently Captain Marvel was supposed to appear in an earlier movie, but they decided to go against it, which is pretty interesting. So essentially what people are saying is there's massive drama behind the scenes because apparently the directors don't want Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, to appear in Infinity War. Apparently she was supposed to be in Infinity War, but they changed it so she's in Endgame. But apparently it's doing discredit to the original Avengers. Well, I don't really think it is, because in order to set up the future, it has to be set up right now. So you can't introduce Captain Marvel to the Avengers movie in Avengers 5. She has to be introduced into the Marvel Avengers world, I guess you could say, whilst the OG, whilst the Iron Man, the Captain America, etc. are still there. So the fact that some people seem to think that they're going to CGI her out to the movie, I mean, this rumor, I don't even know why I'm addressing it. I'm addressing it because I've got an audience that will listen. So essentially there's supposed to be a bunch of cuts, like maybe 2-3 cuts apparently. This is taken from Reddit, so I don't even know why I'm covering this story because it's so ludicrous. So essentially they're saying there's a bunch of cuts, and depending on how well Captain Marvel movie is going to be doing at the box office, theatre, cinema we call it over here, it is depending on which cut they go with for this movie. So let's just backtrack a bit. This is Marvel's biggest movie in, well, forever really, for Marvel. It's gonna break 2 billion pretty easily. Why? Because everyone that watched Infinity War wants to watch how these heroes are going to be coming back. So you're telling me they have a few cuts of a movie ready to go in case the movie doesn't do well. So Captain Marvel movie is actually tracking really well, between 100 to 150 domestically in America and 100 million-ish in China. Then you also have to factor in that IMAX is reporting that there's 1,200 screens pretty much sold out of IMAX, and then you have to factor in the rest of the world. So this movie is going to blow. Then you have to factor in, I've literally spoke to a lot of insiders, a lot of people who have seen the movie, but as they're under non-disclosure agreements, and I didn't want the movie to be ruined for myself, I just said to them, is this movie going to blow up? Do you think it's cool? I've not spoken personally to one person that watched this movie that didn't say Captain Marvel isn't going to be a big star. Literally, these social justice warriors are trying to push a narrative now that she's going to be edited out of a movie. Do you realize how much money they have invested in Captain Marvel? So much money is invested on her. Her solo movie doesn't even have to do that well. Realistically, it doesn't. Because if her movie doesn't do that great, let's say it hits between $700 million and say $1 billion, or somewhere around that number, that is cool. It's not going to have a negative impact on Avengers Endgame. Why? Because that is a complete different story. This movie is set in the 90s. So it doesn't matter if this movie doesn't do great. Let's be honest, it could flop in a sense of only hitting, say, $700, $800 million, which now, sadly, in like Hollywood and the 21st century, that isn't deemed as much money. So even if the movie just breaks even, they're not going to cut Captain Marvel out of the movie because it's going to negatively impact Avengers Endgame. But at the same time, all these people are like, yeah, I'm not going to go watch Captain Marvel because I support not Captain Marvel, not Brie Larson. It's like, but you're going to go watch Avengers Endgame and she's going to appear in there anyway. So you're going to be paying money to go watch her anyway. What are you going to do when you get to the cinema and watch Endgame? Are you going to put your hands in your ears for the whole time she's on the screen? No. Because if you do that, you're going to miss the other characters she's obviously interacting with. I don't really understand the Brie Larson hate train. But no, guys, they're not going to be editing her out. There's not a bunch of cuts. Yes, of course, there will be a bunch of cuts. There'll be the Blu-ray cut. There'll be the 4K cut with some deleted scenes and maybe some alternate endings and stuff. But they're not going to cut out their biggest, most promising star that will be coming up. Regardless to if you like Brie Larson, you need to learn to separate the actor from the character. They're not the same person, are they? But I've been sent this a bunch of times from a bunch of people. I didn't really want to address this because I know they're not going to cut Captain Marvel out of the movie because of the backlash from these social justice warriors that are talking about the Australian cinema. You can only go and watch Captain Marvel. When I've actually had a look, and no, you can't. There's a bunch of movies still out. Alita Battle Angel, which is a movie that everyone seems to be comparing this Captain Marvel movie to. When one's set in the 90s, one's set in the future, one's a comic book movie, one's an anime movie. Doesn't really make any factual sense to compare the either to the other. It really does fascinate me how passionate the anime comic book fans are, to the point where there's a fake rumor going around that Captain Marvel will not appear in Avengers Endgame. Yeah, sure, she was meant to appear in Infinity War. We get why she didn't. But I don't think adding a new character into this movie is going to undershadow the other stars. There's obviously a reason that Bob Iger, obviously he's the head of Disney, there's obviously a big reason why they want to introduce Captain Marvel at the last stage in Phase 3. But as we know, Spider-Man and Nick Fury will be in the first movie for Phase 4. So just because there's another star coming to the movie doesn't actually mean she's going to be getting that much screen time at all. I don't honestly think that she's going to get much screen time with any of the other Avengers except for potentially Captain America and maybe Tony Stark and maybe Thor. But yeah, I understand the hate train kind of, because obviously they've promoted it. She is the strongest Avenger. No Avenger is as strong as her. Yeah, I mean, I disagree with the way they went about it. They should have just made her OP, but not really said anything about it, because it's triggered a lot of people. How can they bring someone in that is more powerful than Thor? Thor is a god. Yep, you're right, Thor is a god, but she's half Kree, as we believe, and half human. And her powers come from what we can perceive as the Tesseract. So she's kind of powerful from an Infinity Stone, which I guess if it happens in the movie, Thanos can just sense whatever her energy would be and essentially drain the energy from her. So is Marvel going to cut Captain Marvel from the Avengers Endgame movie? No. But it is interesting how there is a rumor going around that there is a deleted scene, you know, the scene in the movie where they've essentially replaced a character that was meant to be Captain Marvel, which is pretty interesting. So they had massive plans for Carol Danvers years ago, but decided not to go that way. That was obviously Joss Whedon's idea, but it was in rough cuts. That's why you shouldn't listen to rough cuts and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to get some ideas out there, bros, because it's just very interesting to me. I'm trying to do more discussion-based videos now because I find it more interesting going deep and kind of looking at it from two sides. But like always, guys, let me know down below. Is Captain Marvel gonna be deleted from Avengers Endgame, which really makes no sense because the last thing we seen in Infinity War was literally Nick Fury's pager with, you got it, Captain Marvel's logo coming up. So if she doesn't appear in Endgame, it's like, well, that deleted scene meant absolutely nothing for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And as we know, they are about, like, every movie company now is trying to push diversity and equality. So there will be a lot more female present in every kind of genre, in anime, comic book movie, all over the place. There's going to be more diversity. So no, guys, debunked. They are not chopping Captain Marvel out of this movie. She is going to be the biggest star in Marvel movies going forward. But like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know down below, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.